Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Time I'm in the street, I hear man down. We poppin' bodies, we pop 'em in the parking lot. We poppin' bodies, we pop 'em in the parking lot. We poppin' bodies, we pop 'em in the parking lot. In the parking lot, yeah, we at the spot.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is ClubHouseAceS Sports Podcast. You know we do this every week. So we're back this week, and we got a lot of fun topics for you tonight. Waiting on a couple of my podcasts. Had my boy Trent Little on for a second. I think he fell off. I don't know if it was something I did, something he did, but we're gonna figure it out. But you know, while we're wasting time or trying to figure it out, look like somebody else popping on here. What up, D?
What's up?
Nothing much. Just started the show.
Headphones. All right.
Yeah, man. Just letting the people out there know, exciting week, fun week of sports. Lots to talk about, and we're gonna get into it tonight. I promised the fans that I would bury somebody tonight, so I don't know who it's gonna be, but probably gonna be Fox. Y'all know how I do the Fox. It's probably gonna be him. Might be Corey Harris. Might be too. I got a long-going rivalry with those two from my days at 208 Ruffin Hall, back at North Carolina Central University. But I mean, let's not wait for those bums. Let's get it started. Starting off, big topic at the beginning of the week. We'll start off with at the beginning of the week. Andy Dalton. You know what? No, I'm gonna wait for them to get in here for that. Let's start off with your guy, Kevin Durant, Oklahoma City Thunder. DMV guy, Kevin Durant. He left Team USA this week, citing just being tired. What are your thoughts on it, D?
I when I initially heard the news, I felt like, I can understand where you came from. The NBA season is definitely a grind, and you got summer league. He's not playing summer league, but you're still playing basketball in the summer. So, and then the FIBA World Cup is late. It's late summer. It's not early summer. It's like you gotta get that. That's getting into late, and it's getting into close to September. So. And the season starts late October, so I can see mental fatigue and trying to get ready for another season. So I can understand. It can take a toll. So I can get where he's coming from, and I'm hoping that he still plays the Olympics. I think the Olympics are a little different than the FIBA World Cup. So in terms of what it means for the country, so I'm hoping he can come back for that. I don't think this necessarily has an effect on that, but I don't think this is the first time we heard this either. Definitely not this late in the game, but people have mentioned mental and physical fatigue at some point. That's why they don't want to participate. So, I can understand.
Do you think the Paul George injury had anything whatsoever to do with it?
You know what? I think that may have made him take a look at, rethink his decision, but I don't think it necessarily like, oh, Paul George got hurt, so I'm frightened that I'm gonna get hurt. I just think he wasn't all in, and that probably had something to do. Yeah, it probably did. It probably had something to do with him being all in for it. But because when you're mentally fatigued and you're physically fatigued, you're not all in it, and that's why people that's prone to injuries right there. You're not being fully into what you're doing. So I'm sure that garnered another thought of what's going on here, and am I really ready for what is going to happen over the next few weeks? So,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey. What's up, baby?
Young Rashad Fox. Oh, by far the most talked about co-host on this show. I am tired of receiving text messages about this guy. People just don't mention him at all to me. Text him. Follow him on IG. Don't call me or text me about this guy. But, Fox, we are talking about KD leaving Team USA. What are your thoughts on the situation overall?
I think it's a smart decision. I think like my man D touched on, Paul George's injury did not. I think it had some influence on his decision, but I don't think it was just that decision. I think that decision. I think that freak accident just had a little bit of influence and just pushed him over the edge. When you look at the team, you immediately know that KD is the best player on that team, hands down. which means that a lot is going to be put on him. If the team was to get in a tight game, or if they were to fall behind, a lot of pressure would be put on him. He would really have to carry that team. I don't think that team would have seen that. But I mean, KD just knew that a lot of that he would have had to carry that team, being that he was by far the best player on that team. There were no Kobe Bryant's, no LeBron James, Carmelo, D Wade, Chris Paul. There were no superior all-stars, superstars on that team. And KD has elevated himself to that superstar status by far. He's arguably the best player in the league. And you don't have any of those elite players on this team. So I think initially he thought about that, and he has played a lot of basketball. So I mean, I can't go against what his public statement was. I think that has that is ultimately the real reason why he stepped off of the team. But then when you have a freak accident like Paul George, and then the thoughts of, man, I have played a lot of basketball, I think that all that tied into his decision to part ways with the team. Looking forward, I think Olympics, I think KD is going to take part in the Olympics, but this made-up tournament, this FIBA tournament, not FIFA, but FIBA, I don't think you're going to see the elite stars take place in this tournament, in my honest opinion.
Trent Little on the line. I'm going to just assume that you're in Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, he's at his fiance's house or
I'm actually in Greensboro.
In Greensboro. What is that called? Is that the Trey Foe? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
I don't get it right, but
I don't know. I'm from Charlotte. I can't tell.
I don't get that Trey Ford either.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But Trent, we are talking about KD leaving Team USA. What are your thoughts on it overall? Do you think it had anything to do with Paul George? Looks like he froze up again.
I hate them. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. I said I hate the move, man. I felt like it was that this tournament doesn't count to basically quit because of being scared or taking a risk. Like, you can take a risk every time. You can go in the preseason. You can leave this tournament, and then the first game of the regular season, you can have a freak injury. So you can't play scared on the court. And I felt like that move was just him being scared and like, all right, I'm not going to take that risk. Which I don't like that move. I don't like that. You're a professional basketball player. That's your job.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I'll get my take, and then I'll bounce it around the circle again. It's very interesting to me. I think the Paul George injury could happen anywhere and anytime. Any type of injury could happen. I mean, there are guys who've torn ACLs playing in the Goodman League or the Drew League or just playing, just pick up summer games. And for basketball players, that's how they really stay active and stay involved and get better is by playing summer basketball out on the circuit, I guess, to say. What you've seen LeBron James and Kevin Durant do in the past couple years is basically take an American tour and go to all the little summer leagues in America and play one game here, 2 games there, primarily getting in majority of their games in the cities that they're from, but they'll take American tours and play out in Venice Beach or play in Philly, play in D.C., play in New York at the Rucker. And that's how basketball players do it. I don't think that you can stop that, stop summer league or stop playing because of the. I don't think you can stop summer league because of injuries. And for Kevin Durant, I can't say that, hey, he's lying in his statement about being tired. It's a long season, and like Fox said, or like D said, he had to carry the Oklahoma City Thunder this season. He's the MVP.
He did not. No, wait. He did not have to carry the Thunder. Don't give me that.
I'll
start on that team. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
For the early part of that season, he did when Westbrook was down. When he did have that streak, I believe that he did carry that team.
All right.
So I mean, I think that he's tired. If he wants to rest, that's fine. That's cool. It is a long season. Now, my question to you, and I'll also burn on it a little bit, is at the beginning of I think I got Corey Harris here. Hold on, fellas.
Man, tell that bum to get his stuff together, man.
Corey Harris.
Yo.
Corey Harris.
What's up, man?
Can y'all hear him?
Yes, we can hear the bum.
Well, Corey, you're going to have to wait for me to get my point out. But I guess we're talking about KD leaving Team USA. And before all of that ends, whoa, man, come on, man. Turn down your mic over there, something while I'm talking. Um, but I think KD leaving is okay. If I think I'm slowing down here. Uh-oh.
No, you good.
Okay, I'm good. I think KD leaving it is a good thing for him in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not so good for Team USA. But I heard you guys mention the Olympics and playing on the Olympics. And at the beginning, when Coach K first came in to do the Olympic situation again, didn't he say that the guys actually have to make a 3-year commitment? So they actually do have to play or be on the team from the start?
I think there will be some exceptions made for certain players.
So do you all think that, KD, guys like KD, LeBron, if he wants to hop in there last minute, and maybe, I don't know, anybody else that comes along that might be real at that point, if they hop in there, it's going to be okay. So this FIBA World Championships means nothing, and Coach K, what he said earlier, means nothing at all. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'll go ahead and take that first. I mean, I don't think it means nothing, but you want to go? Go ahead.
No, you got it. I was gonna say for me, I think that this was more. You got it.
Go ahead, Trent. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, for me, I think it's more like this was the summer to jail, and I think Coach K knew that with LeBron, like with everything that was circling the LeBron situation, he's not gonna play. Like, what I'm saying, he was gonna lose him this summer just because him joining a new team and all of that. But I think this was more the summer for KD and guys like Paul George to get that leadership and take, and to make that jump, because soon you're going to lose LeBron, soon you're going to lose KD. So I was thinking it was guys for like, KD never had his chance basically, and I feel like Paul George was going to, was going to be that second leader, that go-to guy. So I think this summer was more catered to them guys instead of the LeBron. Like, he knew what was going on with LeBron.
Oh my gosh, this bum. All right, Fox, go ahead, man.
I mean, I know Coach K did touch on that it is a 3-year commitment. I mean, but we all know if LeBron James wants to play, Coach K is not going to deny him the opportunity to play in the Olympics, nor KD. Yeah, you do want your team to jail, but guys like LeBron James and KD, they've already been through the Coach K system. They've already played overseas in international basketball with Coach K. These are exceptional players that you cannot turn down if they choose to want to play in the Olympics, because they already know. They're easy to incorporate into the system. 2, they already know the system. So I mean, I really think that's more to those players like a Anthony Davis or a Paul George, and the players that are actually on this team that are coming up and rising to that elite level, not yet there. The people that haven't had that experience and that playing experience with Coach K yet. I think it's more so towards those guys. You can't tell me that if LeBron James wants to play in the Olympics, Coach K is going to deny him that, or KD. So, I mean, especially when they've already put it out there that they still had an interest to play in the Olympics.
Well, I mean, I think that I agree with Fox in the sense that I don't think Coach K is not allowing guys to come on. But, when you start to say these things and say, hey, I want a 3-year commitment, and we're trying to build teamwork and stuff like that, I mean, you got to stick to your laurels. But, hey, he wouldn't be the first coach in history to say something and not really mean it or stick to his guns. D, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I mean, I can see if he said it, I can see, him saying it. But, that's hard for you to get that commitment out of guys. 3 years, 3 years doesn't sound like a lot of time, but a lot can change in 3 years. So, I don't know if that's necessarily realistic. But I can see where he's coming from. It definitely builds chemistry. You don't have a lot of time to play with these guys, and you're supposed to go out and go compete for a championship. And when you're playing against guys that have, probably been playing with each other a little longer, the team's been competing overseas and playing with each other, so they got that chemistry. So, I can see where he's coming from. You always want players to play together longer, but it's just how realistic is it?
Yeah, does this spell doom though for Team USA in some way, shape, or form at the FIBA World Championships? Fox says something very important. There are no quote unquote elite level NBA superstars. Now,
right.
We have very recently always struggled with Spain and Brazil and Argentina. Just throwing it out there. Is there any way possible that the USA loses or does not win this FIBA World Championships?
I don't know. It's definitely a drop off from who's behind KD, but they did add Rudy Gay as Kevin Durant. I like Rudy Gay's game. He could be a little more assertive, but just you still got some high quality talent. Like I mean, we know the names, but it's still a lot of talent there. Size, I feel like is going to be an issue. I mean, Kevin Durant's 7 feet playing small forward. I mean, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but I think it's still going to be done. I can't say right now that Kevin Durant's gone. They're done. So.
Trent.
I would go with. I mean, right now, yes, they can win it, of course, because they're always a contender. But I don't consider them the favorites right now. I give that regard to Spain with the Gasol brothers. You got Ibaka. So you got a nice little roster that always contends with USA. And now when you lose your top 2 players, of course, like now who's your go-to guy?
James Harden.
So I mean,
Rose.
I can't count on him in the playoffs, so I won't count on him overseas either.
This is a different ball game, baby. This is a different ball game, baby.
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not saying who's the go-to guy, but I'm right with Trent. Spain is the favorite going into the FIBA World Championships for me. Now, for most people who don't watch international basketball or don't think that it can happen, watch. Spain will beat the United States in the finals of the FIBA World Championships. People gonna be like, "Oh man, forget Spain." Nah, it's happened before. And it's gonna happen again.
Exactly, they always contend with USA.
Yeah, Fox, you say something is different than international. Go ahead, I want to hear your take on that.
What you say?
You said something was different than international. What were you talking about? What were you referring to when you said?
I just said it's a different ball game. As far as the playoffs, I wouldn't count Jay Harden out. Like I'm based off his playoff experience in the NBA. I wouldn't count my man Jay Harden out.
I never count him out, but I don't count on him either.
Exactly. I mean, I feel he is a go-to guy. He's top 10 in the world with his talent. So
he have an international game too.
I was about to say
he sure does. He definitely does. That Euro step is pretty damn nice. I mean, I'm not gonna count him out, and I am actually going to count on him. I mean, they have a wonderful coach. They have a great coach. Let's not take the coach's experience away from this.
Because the Euro step is the end-all and be-all in international basketball.
I'm still counting on my man.
Corey Harris, hop in here. What you have to say?
First of all, I like my intro, and then second of all, I think James Harden, he'll be fine international-wise, man, because we don't guard for guard. We're fine when it comes to playing like Spain. It's where we get in trouble with the Paul Gasols and the Marc Gasols. And all we're going to be able to deal with them for 4 quarters, you know?
And Serge Ibaka. Don't forget Serge.
Serge, exactly. So it ain't guard-wise. Yeah, James Harden will work everybody international-wise. I think he'll work everybody. I mean, it's a whole nother – it's the pressure-wise, internationally and NBA-wise, is not as high as it would be in the NBA playoffs. I don't think it's pressure-wise.
Y'all talk about –
y'all
mention international. Let's not act like Ricky Rubio don't kill it in every international tournament. Let's not act like he doesn't. I'm just saying. The dude is trash in the NBA. Lord knows I do not like his game. I think he's a bum. But internationally, he does it. And before I go too far, let me give Corey his intro so he can start whining like a little girl.
Keep my Wi-Fi, though. I'm moving on point today. Hey, you added something to that? You added something?
Yeah, man. I had to do you right, man.
Appreciate it.
I had to do you right, man. But getting back into it, I'm Rick Rubio, international superstar in all these tournaments. And it's always the guys you never hear when you get to these international tournaments, or the average guys in the league. Rudy Fernandez blows it up in every tournament too. See, y'all forgetting about Spain's legit squad. Y'all forgetting, bro.
Let's be clear, man. Let's be clear. International ball cannot compare to the NBA, man. We can't compare that to the level of play of the NBA. It's the reason that the greatest players are playing in the NBA, and it's the reason that the bottom tier athletes are going overseas and playing basketball. I mean, them guys are not playing at the same level, so of course, Ricky Rubio, Fernandez, they gonna get buckets. Yeah, they used to that, and at the same time, they're the better player compared to those guys. But at the same time, they come to the NBA and they just blend in. If anything, barely blend. You know,
but didn't everybody just say it's a different game? Oh my gosh!
It's a different game, but when we talking international, we talking Spain, man. We talking Marc Gasol, Paul Gasol, and we talking about Big Bach down there, man. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to bang with. At the end of the day, but guard wise, USA, we can run 5 guard sets and run about 95% of the international league out the gym easily.
Which is what Coach K does.
You know what the biggest difference is about?
Go ahead, Trent.
I said the biggest difference between the NBA and the international play is that it's not just the run up and down and do whatever you want to do. It's more fundamental. So that's why you have those smarter players who. That's why they end up competing with the USA, because they have more basketball IQ than the American players. So they can stay on that same court like a Ricky Rubio or Rudy Fernandez, who knows his strength. Because at the end of that's how they're able to compete with the higher basketball IQ.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know what Team USA gonna do. Corey hit the nail on the coffin. They gonna try to run everybody out the gym. Obviously,
Exactly.
It's the obvious thing to do. Now the question is, everyone knows you're gonna try to do that, so they're gonna game plan for that. So what type of adjustment do you make to the adjustment? Because most of the teams are not gonna stop that. But once again, the top tier teams will. Go back and you look at Olympics from past, even the years we won, 2012, 2008. Yeah, the games against Angola and teams that don't matter are blowouts. But games against France, Spain, Lithuania,
Even Russia,
Brazil, sometimes Puerto Rico, who comes out of nowhere, those games aren't always blowouts. And you can't always run those guys off the court.
I remember Carlos Arroyo used to kill us, and he was a low-tier player in the NBA, but he used to kill us in international play.
Mm-hmm.
That was embarrassing when we lost to Puerto Rico, and he killed us. He destroyed us.
Carlos Arroyo never started a game in the NBA, but he killed us in international play.
He definitely destroyed us. But you know what? I don't want to spend too much time on that topic. I think we kind of beating the dead horse with it. We all got our opinions on it. Let's jump to something that's an interesting topic. This week, Andy Dalton, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, heading into his 4th year, receives a 6-year, $115 million contract. I want to know you fellas' thoughts on it overall. I want to know if you think it was whack, if he shouldn't have got it, if you think he should have got it, if you think that he's elite or not elite. I want to hear the kitchen sink on Andy Dalton and where you stand on him. And I'm starting with you, Fox, former college football player.
I mean, when you talk elite, you're talking, and with this day and age, there are a lot of elite quarterbacks. I wouldn't quite say Andy Dalton quite makes that cut. He's not top 10 in my opinion. So I really don't. I kind of don't agree with the $115 million. But to my understanding, with that contract, it's more so on a year-to-year basis. As far as I think that the contract can be, I think the way the contract is based off the year-to-year is whether the contract will go to full 6 years. I mean, but when you talk about it, I mean, Andy Dalton the Bengals really haven't been too good the previous years before he came to the team. And he did. I mean, when you talk about team success, the number one person you point to is the quarterback, and he has changed that program around. I mean, taking them to the playoffs, hasn't quite yet got the win, but neither has a Tony Romo. So I mean, he's getting paid good.
Hold on.
He's getting paid good money too. But I mean, this day and age, when every quarterback that's going to get every quarterback that's going to re-sign for those number of years is going to get this big contract. Let's just face it. It is what it is. It's not easy to start over and just it's easy for us to say, hey, let's wait for a Jameis Winston to come out. Let's try to get him, or let's get another quarterback. And let's just start over. But I mean, what you going to do? You're going to start over, or you're going to go with this guy who has a lot of potential. They see this guy every day. They know his potential. I mean, the way the contract is structured, I think. I mean, although I don't agree that he's elite, I mean, but money and the money that these quarterbacks are getting nowadays, I'm not really surprised that he received this contract. I mean, how big it is. Every quarterback signing a new contract nowadays is getting this type of money, so I'm not really surprised with it. And he's a good quarterback, so I can't really say I disagree. I can't really knock it, but I don't think he's elite, but I'm not really surprised by the money.
Yeah, baby.
Corey Harris, let me hear what your thoughts are on it, man.
Andy Dalton, man, does not deserve all that money. Bottom line, man, he's a good quarterback, and to hit on some of Fox's points, he made some valid points. Where were the Bengals before, and where are they now? Understood. But I think a lot of that has to do with AJ Green. But he made a comparison to Tony Romo. I think Tony Romo is better than Andy Dalton. Romo, he loses a lot of games because of the lack of experience with his receiving core. You give Tony Romo AJ Green, I think goddamn Cowboys would go ham, even though I'm a Redskins fan. And that's crazy. Andy Dalton's like you said, he's not top 10, not even in my book, but he is a good quarterback. And for them to pay him that amount of money, I thought it was a little crazy. But at the same time, he deserves the payout, but I don't think it was that big. I think that was too much. That was too much. The Bengals, they're going in the right direction. They got a lot of key players. They still got A.J. Green there, so they're going to always be good. So as long as A.J. Green on the outside, they always going to be scoring touchdowns at the end of the day. Andy Dalton, average quarterback making Hall of Fame money right now. So I mean, at the end of the day, he don't deserve it, but he got it. So I mean, hopefully he come out this year and they finally win a playoff game. So
you know what? You deserve an applause. You deserve an applause for that. D, what are your thoughts on it?
Hold on. First two disclaimers. One to Rashad. My man Tony Romo has a playoff ring. And second one, Romo is better than Andy Dalton. Tony Romo is a top-tier quarterback. Look at the stats. Andy Dalton is a second-tier quarterback. And in fact, he got a second-tier quarterback money. He got $17 million guaranteed, and it's all incentive-based. Like everything, all the $115 million doesn't come into play until he wins the playoffs. He throws for X amount of touchdowns. So I think he got paid like a second-tier quarterback, which he is. Like it's hard. It's hard to come across a top-tier quarterback. Even it's a little bit. It's just as hard, not as hard, but just as hard to find a second-tier quarterback. Andy Dalton, I can't think of any more names, but like he's not top tier, and he didn't get paid like Romo. I don't think Flacco's top tier, but Flacco got paid because he had a Super Bowl, but he didn't get the money that it seems to get, or he can get, but he has to become elite. He's not elite yet. He didn't get paid like elite. He got $17 million. That's not a lot, honestly, in this day and age when quarterbacks are getting paid crazy money. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I feel like he's an okay quarterback. His QB rating is like 85. That's okay. I mean, he took him to the playoffs, hasn't got a win, but, I mean, it's his fourth year coming, I believe. So, I mean, $17 million is not that bad. I don't know.
Trent, hop in there before I destroy everybody on this panel.
Well, I'm gonna do it already, so you gotta worry. I'm gonna do it already. You gotta worry about it. But
okay.
I think the money was, you know what I'm saying? He deserved the money. I look at when Cam and Andy Dalton came into the league the same year, and when everybody was
Lord, he didn't
blamming about how Cam is putting up all these numbers, Andy Dalton had even better numbers. And he's had the same. I'll say him and Cam's career are dead equal, they're level. So if I would say Cam deserves $115 million. So if Cam deserves $115 million, Andy Dalton deserves $115 million also. That's where I'll leave it at.
Okay. Whoa, shut up.
You can go.
Shut up. It's not your turn. It is not your turn, Corey Harris.
Disrespect to Cam Newton, man.
Shut the hell up. And you know what? Just for that, you get this right here. Shut up.
Turn that on. I ain't hearing it.
Look, knock that shit off. That's what we said. Look. All right. Andy Dalton. I'm going to read off some stats for you because I'm tired of this. 30-18. 30-18. 3 straight years in the playoffs. All 3 years of his career. Corey Harris, I understand where you're coming from, riding on A.J. Green's nutsacks. He's a great player, but I understand you have a bias. You play wide receiver. So you can lay off the nut hugging a little bit, but I understand where you're coming from. One-time Pro Bowler, of course. Not great, but do we really go off of Pro Bowls? Not 100% certain about that. Like I said, 3-time Pro Bowler. D said $17 million guaranteed, which is low end of the spectrum. But he did also say something very important, that he has to hit barometers or marks to get that money. Well, last year, 4,000 yards passing. I'm sure that's an incentive on that contract. And he has A.J. Green, as Corey Harris eloquently put it. So he's getting 4,000 yards. And the trajectory is there. Each year he's stepping up. He had 30 touchdowns last year. That's top 5 in the NFL. 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. With that, I realized the interceptions took a big jump up to 20. Would I call him elite yet? No, I wouldn't. But also, D said, look at the quarterback rate. But the most important thing to look at is the completion rate. 62% and 61% the last 2 years. That is stellar. That's where you want your quarterback to be. Between 60 to 65 is right where you want a really good quarterback to a great quarterback to be elite quarterback even. So I think Andy Dalton is on his way to being what D called great or elite. I think a lot of people don't give him credit because he's in Cincinnati and he's not doing it flashy and he hasn't won the playoff game. Also, when we talk about $100 million contracts, let's not make it seem like these quarterbacks who've always gotten $100 million contracts have done anything special or in terms of being elite at the time. Joe Flacco, as D said, got his $100 million contract. 6 years, $120 million. That's after winning the Super Bowl. I understand the market. Also, we got to remember that the market has been inflated. So every time somebody gets $100 million, the next guy that thinks he's better is hoping to get that. Joe Flacco gets his. Drew Brees, incredibly elite quarterback. He got his five. Drew Brees got his $100 million contract. It was 5 years, $100 million in 2012. Michael Vick, out of jail, got a 5-year, $100 million contract from the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't say that he necessarily deserved that, but his minimum salary had jumped up because obviously he had a $100 million contract before. Eli Manning, 7 years, $106 million. Ben Roethlisberger, 8 years, $102. 8 years, $102 million. Carson Palmer, 9 years, $118 million. This guy ain't even play out the contract. He ain't even in Cincinnati no more. And it hasn't been 9 years. It ain't even been 5 years since he left there. Come on. Where's that guy? In Arizona somewhere? Make 9 years, $118 million. Mike Vick, of course, famous Atlanta Falcons deal, 10 years, $130 million. Dante Culpepper, 10 years, $102 million. Donovan McNabb, 10 years, $115 million. Brett Favre, Hall of Famer, 10 years, $101 million. Drew Bledsoe, the year before Tom Brady arrives, 10 years, $103 million. My issue is not with Andy Dalton. My issue is with the NFL. What the hell are you doing? Giving everybody and their mother a $100 million contract. Do you guys remember when we were growing up that $100 million was like the barometer? I went batshit crazy when Peyton Manning got a $98.75 million deal, which that's a notable name that's not even on the list. And I'll finish the list. Matt Ryan, 5 years, $103.75 million, which, like D said, is also very incentive based. Colin Kaepernick, the newest guy, 7 years, what could be $126 million, which is also very incentive based and kind of awkward and strange to Andy Dalton's contract, because while Andy Dalton's contract is $17 million guaranteed, Colin Kaepernick's is $61 million guaranteed, which seems kind of insane, but at the same time, it is crazy. And we've talked about it before, but a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Kaepernick went to Super Bowl 1 year, into the NFC Championship the next." And after I finish this, I'll let you guys burn on that topic, how much winning matters when it comes to this. But two names noticeably missing from this list are Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, neither of whom make $100 million, have ever had a $100 million contract for that matter, or Phillip Rivers, who just missed the list. He's just south of $100 million, and this also sets a dangerous precedent. Trent said it perfectly. Cam Newton is going to have to do his contract this year, or in this, I think they're renegotiating or trying to negotiate the contract. If half the people on this, half the people on this panel would say that Cam Newton is far greater than Andy Dalton, which I don't agree in terms of what they've done. Cam Newton is not far greater than Andy Dalton. If Cam Newton's maybe a little bit further along, the only reason why you give Cam Newton the edge is because he's flashy and he runs the ball as well. He's a dual threat, and Andy Dalton's not. I mean, passing-wise, Andy Dalton and Cam Newton are right there neck and neck. But this sets a dangerous precedent for him. What do you give Russell Wilson in 2 years? Say Russell Wilson wins another Super Bowl on the back of the Seattle Seahawks defense. Does he now get a $150 million contract?
He has to.
And Andrew Luck has been to the playoffs the first 2 years. I have no problem in saying they're probably gonna go again this year and the year after that, barring him getting injured. What do you give him? He's at that point they might consider him the best quarterback in the NFL. Good Lord, Redskin fans, if RG3 comes out and rushes for 900 yards one time and throws for 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, what do you give this guy? This is a dangerous slippery slope. Well, as a Redskin fan, I hope it happens, but this is a dangerous slippery slope that we're on in terms of quarterback payments. And what does this say to other guys? I mean, we've had guys like Albert Hainsworth get $100 million contracts, but what does this say when you have average guys, not, you know what, I take that back. I don't want to call Andy Dalton average, but a guy who's not a premier top 5 NFL quarterback getting $100 million. What does this say to the rest of the league? And we've seen it with Colin Kaepernick as well. I mean, albeit 2 Super Bowl appearance and the NFC Championship appearance. And Fox mentioned something. He said if Russell Wilson wins another one, you got to pay him. But my question to you now and you all is winning the Super Bowl the moneymaker, or is it the statistics because D is a Cowboy guy. He's a Tony Romo fan. I would say I'll be the first one to say I personally feel like Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Eli Manning. As a quarterback, as a Redskin fan, I'm saying I personally feel like Tony Romo, the choke artist of them all, is a better quarterback than Eli Manning. Trent, I'll go back down the line reverse order. Trent, is winning the situation here? Is that what gets the money? And is that a bad thing or a good thing?
Well, first of all, I feel like that whole big contract thing is like it's overreacting just because when they sign that deal, they don't mean that the NBA player with it. So I think the bigger thing to look at Brady or Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, they don't have $100 million contracts. But you know how much money they're guaranteed? Like all of their money is in their guarantee rather than it being in a contract, which most of the NFL players don't even live out. Like you named a bunch of players off that list. Most of them players didn't live up. You know what I'm saying? Didn't the contract money? They didn't see that whole contract.
Even come close.
So I feel like that. You know what I'm saying? The bigger thing to look at is the guaranteed money. Exactly. So I think the bigger, you know what I'm saying, the bigger thing is to look at that guaranteed money. And at the same time, I feel like your production, like you don't have to win a Super Bowl. You know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. So I don't think Super Bowl equates to, you know what I'm saying, your salary. I just feel like your production equates to your salary.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, Super Bowl equates to your salary too as a quarterback.
So Fox, are you saying both? Should it be mixed or should it be just winning?
Well,
Fox,
Fox,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much money did Trent Dilfer make after he won the Super Bowl?
Well, let me rephrase. This day and age, Super Bowl equates to your signing. I mean, to your contract as a quarterback.
But my question is,
It depends, man. It depends.
like it has to be a mixture. I mean, once again, no one.
This day and age.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. We're in this day and age, but it has to depend. Like Corey said, it has to be a mixture. Like you can't.
Well, of course, it can. It's going to be a mixture. I mean, it's going to be a mixture. I mean, let's say Joe Flacco.
He had a shitty season last year.
Joe Flacco is not a top 10 quarterback.
Okay, but let me give you one stat that Joe Flacco did have that nobody else had had that I can remember. In the playoffs, he had 12 touchdowns to 0 interceptions.
Well, he's Eli Manning.
Well, let me.
Eli Manning.
Okay, he had 0 interceptions, but it takes luck to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. And
I understand that.
Okay, and
that's what we're saying, though.
Let me tell you, that play against Denver with that safety should have been an interception. Let that have been.
We can't live off shoulda, woulda.
What you mean?
No, my whole point is This is my whole point. With that interception, he's not going to get that money. He's not going to get the money.
And if David Tyree didn't catch the ball, Eli Manning doesn't win shit. What are you saying?
But I'm saying because he had. Okay, what I'm saying is he's an average quarterback, but because he won the Super Bowl, that's the reason he gets the money.
Joe Flacco's not average, bro.
He's an average quarterback in the NFL. Yes, he is. If you are not top 10, you're average.
Eli Manning is not top 10 right now. Say it. Say it.
He's not.
Who's the top 10?
Oh, I think we should refer back to the Clubhouse Aces list. That's what I think.
But he's not top 10.
You got your list, Aaron.
I'll let y'all talk about it while I find it.
He has two Super Bowls. He's top 10. He has 2 Super Bowls. He's top 10. I don't care what you tell me. He has 2.
Eli Manning is top 10? Oh, my gosh.
Eli Manning, yes.
Eli Manning just had one of the worst seasons ever last year.
Last 2 seasons.
I was about to say.
He's not top 10. He's not top 10. He's a good quarterback. He's an average. He's above average, but he's not top 10. Not now. He's not even top. He might be the worst quarterback in his division right now.
When he won, he's not top 10 right now.
He might be the worst quarterback in his division. How is he top 10?
That's
okay.
Are we speaking Flacco or are we speaking
Eli?
He's better than Nick Foles, though. I'm not gonna go that far.
I mean, but if you top 10, if you're top 10, it can't be an argument that you might be the last quarterback in your own division. You can make a legit argument.
It's not an argument. You're making an argument, but it's not an argument.
Time out.
It's not a legit argument that Nick Foles is better than Eli.
Time out. Everybody shut the hell up. All right. This is the Clubhouse Aces top 10 quarterback list right now. And Eli Manning is not on it because y'all know how I feel about him. Peyton Manning is number 1. Aaron Rodgers is number 2. Tom Brady is number 3. Drew Brees is number 4. Tony Romo is number 5. Andrew Luck is number 6. Colin Kaepernick is number 7. Phillip Rivers is number 8. Matt Ryan is number 9. And Russell Wilson and Cam Newton are both in a tie for 10.
Okay.
I can't find an argument there.
I can't.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was funny.
Time out, Corey.
Kaepernick is too far.
Corey and Fox had dissenting arguments. Corey, you
Yeah,
go
You got
first.
Phillip Rivers way too far, bro. I think
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers better than Tony Romo and Colin Kaepernick
Yeah.
and Russell Wilson.
And you got to put Matt Ryan in front of Colin Kaepernick as well.
Come on, son.
Yeah,
Matty Ice.
Well,
No.
I mean, I love Matt Ryan, but you got a lot of people who we just talked about are talking about winning.
Right, man. Y'all not even clutching people say it.
Like you talking about Matt Ryan goes to the playoffs, which is why he's on the list. This is why
Been
he's
out
on
of
the list.
playoffs 4 out
'Cause
of
he
5
wins,
Better
but
quarterback. We talking about better quarterbacks. We talking about winning and we
But
talking about numbers.
winning numbers and skills, right?
Yeah, winning number skills. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm just saying I had to deal with people factoring in winning. I mean, those outside of Tony Romo, most of those guys on the list have had consecutive playoffs and they're trending upward. And you got to remember, Matt Ryan is coming off one of his worst seasons as well. That's
Okay.
That's why as well. I mean, Matt Ryan to me is a great quarterback.
To his defense, he didn't have his top tier
Right?
receivers, but
They were injured.
but that's not an excuse. Okay.
They were
That
injured.
is great. That is a legitimate excuse.
Yeah,
Legitimate.
but not if you want to. If we talking stats in his year last year, I mean he still made it. So I can see why he's so far up.
That is why he had the bad year, dog. Come on, dog.
Go ahead, Corey.
No, if you Matt Ryan and you look to your left, no Julio, you look to your right, no Roddy, all you got is Harry Douglas and an old Tony Gonzalez. What you gonna do?
Hey,
You forgot he lost his offensive line. Also.
I agree. But look, see, and this is the difference. This is why some guys go on the list higher than others. Because who played with Tom Brady? When you looking into your left and you got Kimbrell Tompkins who can't catch a damn pass, can't catch a cold naked in Alaska. Shut up, I'm talking right now.
Okay.
When you look to your left and you got Kimbrell Tompkins, you look to your right, you had a Deion Branch, a Randy Moss, 1 lucky year or 2 lucky years, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. These are guys outside of Randy Moss that are coming in, leaving out. He's making those guys. Peyton Manning went to Denver Broncos and made everybody there. You can't tell me you ever heard of the tight end Julius Thomas before Peyton Manning arrived in Denver.
I did.
Oh,
He's been hurt. He's been hurt. He's been hurt.
I was about to say,
He wasn't a rookie this year.
No, he was a rookie before. He was a rookie the year before.
But he was hurt. But I heard about it.
You heard about him? You heard? Did you hear? Go ahead, Corey.
His name not gonna have big buzz as a rookie. You got to make plays. It happened to be Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning got there, Peyton Manning, that was a benefit.
Hey,
that was a benefit for him.
Do you heard?
You said Tom Brady makes those players better.
Hey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You said Tom Brady makes those players better, but it wasn't like Matt Ryan. Players like Julio Jones and Roddy White got hurt before the season where he had time to build chemistry and make these guys better. That don't just happen. That don't happen in a week. That don't happen in a week. Tom Brady didn't have an offense starting the season. So he had time to get those guys better and to prepare those guys and get on the same page as him. Matt Ryan didn't have time. He didn't have time.
I agree. I will agree that not being a first-team guy and not working with the second and third-team guys does affect. I will agree with that wholeheartedly. However, when you are among the best of the best, it don't matter who you slide in there. You get the job done. It's a revolving door in New Orleans.
Look, I'm going to steer this back onto topic. I'm going to steer this back on the topic because we took a left turn. Is it winning or is it winning? That was the question. Is it winning or is it the ability?
Yes.
Championship
it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. If you do win the Super Bowl, you're going to get paid this day and age. This day and age, it's only like 3 quarterbacks in the league that are like bummy right now that can count on getting replaced right now. The quarterback position in the league is really strong right now, and that's why everybody is getting paid right now. Everybody's going to get paid. It's not that many quarterbacks in this league that you can look at that you can say is a legit bum right now. Everybody is pretty damn decent. And RG3 is not. Well, he didn't win, but I guarantee you, he's going to get his money. He's going to get his money too.
Depending on how he does this year and next year.
I don't think it's that NFL quarterbacks are so good right now. I just think that the quarterback is the face of the NFL. So when you have a guy like Nick Foles, who really hasn't showed me much because he's played for 1 or 2 years.
But he showed you a lot.
Still one or two years. There's no longevity. It's still 1 or 2 years.
But he showed you a lot in his sample size.
I got a story on that coming out tomorrow.
I don't like Nick Foles. I think he will get exposed this year. But you cannot that touchdown to interception in that game against Oakland. No, that is shit. Damn, that shit amazed me. So you have that opens eyes. Like that opens eyes. He had a big arm coming out of college, but I mean he is a rookie, so he does have it's little to work with.
He wasn't a rookie last year though.
I'm saying, well he is very young, and it was his second year. Excuse me, but shoot, I mean, he opened some eyes with those stats. I think he will get exposed this year, but you got to admit right now based off what you see, he's elite. I mean, not elite, but he's a good quarterback.
Corey Harris, winning, or stats, or a mixture of both. What you think?
Man, we would be pretty much stupid if we just said all it took was winning, or all it took was, stats. At the end of the day, you got to have both. Because if you look at, people that's paying them, that's what they want. They want both. They want guys that put up good numbers, and they want those good numbers to equal up the wins. Because if you can't put up good numbers and lose, then, it's missing something. It may not be you. It may not be you. At the end of the day, if you put up good numbers and you happen to win, you're gonna get paid more money than the guy that put up good numbers and not winning. And that's just point blank. If you look at Kaepernick, he had solid numbers. He's winning games. He's got paid. Andy Dalton, he put up decent numbers. He's winning games. He got paid. All the guys that's getting paid are putting up solid numbers, good numbers, and winning. And they're gonna get paid. At the end of the day, they're not gonna pay nobody big bucks that's not doing, big things on the field. So at the end of the day, you gotta have a mixture of both. And then one can outweigh the other. I'd rather the winning outweigh the numbers any day. Any day.
You need them stats. You need them stats.
Trent, man, hop in there. It looked like D.
I'm here.
Hey, man, my fault. Man.
I was listening.
My fault. My Wi-Fi keep tripping. I'm in my fiance crib, and her Wi-Fi is terrible. But you was just saying that the quarterbacks are putting up solid numbers. Solid numbers equate to $100 million contracts. They should not solid numbers. I feel like you should $100 million should mean something. And solid numbers, just somebody putting up average. Just what I'm saying, solid, not like solid numbers. I don't feel like that equates to $100 million contracts. And that just goes back to what I was saying about NFL right now. I feel like it's catered to the quarterback. So it's like
it's always been.
That's why you have all of these. Quarterbacks. No, it has not. That's when. I think when they started making calls for Brady and all this, all of that, all the wide receiver, like the pass interference calls, that's when it started becoming catered to the quarterback. And now, what were you saying?
$100 million.
You said it catered to the quarterback. Yeah, you're right. But the game in football has changed more now than it was before. It was more of a run game, like just smash mouth football. That's what it used to be. It's still smash mouth football, but okay, I'm gonna play a little bit smarter now, and I'm gonna preserve my players more because I want to use them 5-6 years from now, and not just get 2-3 years out of them. So yeah, they put the ball through the air more, and now the quarterback is a more valuable player.
You have quarterbacks.
I can agree with you.
I'm gonna.
And I think that's why the salary is like that, because that's why quarterbacks have throwing 50 passes a game.
I agree. That's a valid point.
But you can go. I'm good. I'm done.
I'm gonna touch on it, and then I'm gonna be done with my man D.
Touch on it, man. You done touched on it already, man.
I touch on it because I gotta say it's stats. Hey, it is stats. It is stats. I'm done. It's gonna be quick. It's stats.
This is why everybody.
Hey, it's gonna be freaking stats. It's gonna be stats.
Go ahead. Nah, let Fox have it. He the star of the show. Everybody knows that.
It's stats.
Let him. Go ahead.
It is stats. It is stats. It is stats unless you win the Super Bowl, i.e. Joe Flacco. But it's going to be stats because if you're winning and you're Alex Smith, you don't have you got average stats. Your ass is going to get replaced by a young boy like Kaepernick. So it's going to be stats that's getting you that money. Because you look at Alex Smith, that boy's winning percentage was high as hell, and he got his ass gone and didn't get that $100 million contract. So it's going to be stats. At the end of the day, the only thing in the league is the quarterback can only give you the opportunity to win. Winning in the league, a lot of that shit is luck based off of a lot of other shit that comes along with it. But you want a quarterback that can put up consistent, good stats, and that's who gets the money. That's who's going to get the money, the stats.
And
man, all right, Fox, you had far too much airtime. D, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, I think I did everything I wanted to say, man. I see what Rashad was saying about stats, but like, how are we interpreting those stats? Because I mean, winning is part of stats. So, I mean, I don't know. So the stats, because I mean, like y'all saying, that's you sit here and say Tony's a choke artist, but his stats line up with the people you call clutch. Exactly. I see you. And so it's just like, who interprets, who's watching, because a lot goes into a football game and wins other than just what the quarterback does in his production. So,
oh man, y'all know how I feel about Tony choke artist Romo, but I mean, I think I agree with Fox. It's stats first, but winning is like 1B. Like stats, because I mean you can win and be awesomely awesome, but if you don't have the stats to back it up, then and the skill set. The skill set does matter. I think a lot of people forget about that. Alex Smith, the stats came along, but the skill set was kind of lagging a little bit, and he did have extremely small hands. And he was never this regime of the 49ers. He was never their guy. He wasn't a Jim Harbaugh guy. He wasn't drafted by Jim Harbaugh. He was never their guy. That matters as well. We talked about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson hasn't done anything amazingly awesome when it comes to the stats or passing the ball. Except which I guess the most important stat, he's accurate. He doesn't give the ball away and he doesn't turn it over, which is a really good thing. But he's the I guess the infamous term that nobody wants to be labeled as. He's the ultimate game manager. He's the ultimate game manager, and it's worked out to his benefit. And
definitely. But I would give a lot of these new skills. My fault. You finished.
I'm done. I couldn't. I was waiting on you.
Oh, okay. Miles, I give a lot of those skill type quarterbacks that like they're extravagant game managers, like Colin Kaepernick. He's another game manager. Russell Wilson, they're kind of for the most part they're game managers. And I mean, I'm saying it seems like a lot of the the game managers now they're getting paid. These $100 million contracts that it doesn't make sense. But I mean, at the end of the day, I equate everything to basically the NFL quarterback right now. It's like, all right, we're gonna run with that right now. It's about the quarterbacks.
Do you think that when you talk about game manager, do you think that lines up with these guys being young? Andy Dalton's young.
I don't think.
Would you say, Corey?
I was gonna say, yeah, they game managers. They only game managers because of the system that they're in. Those guys, Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson. I feel like they're game managers just because that's the system that they're in. I think Russell Wilson will be successful in any passing offense just because of his football IQ and just because of the mindset in which he goes into a football game with. And the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. But he's not as sharp as Russell Wilson when it comes to the passing game. He's a game manager because he has to be a game manager. And Colin Kaepernick, he's a game manager because he has to be a game manager. You put Colin Kaepernick in that same offense in which the Redskins was running a year ago when RG3 was healthy, and imagine the type of year he would have.
Well, I don't think he's as good a passer as RG3, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I think he'll get it done. And you put Russell Wilson in the same type of offense of a Sean Payton in New Orleans, and he has the same type of tools as a Drew Brees, to me. So he's a game manager because he has
Hey, Corey Harris, I got a lot of Saints fans that watch this podcast. They are going to murder you for saying that Drew Brees
that's pushing it.
and Russell Wilson are in the same category. Oh my gosh, they are going to murder you. I'm gonna give them your email so that they can light you up all week. Because I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
In one category though.
Look at Russell Wilson's stats when he was in college. His what?
No, you can't bring up college.
When he was in college, and then now look at it now. He's smart with the football.
He always is smart with the football. I give Russell Wilson his credit. He was a great quarterback in North Carolina State. People who talk about Wisconsin, please don't ever mention Wisconsin. Russell Wilson became Russell Wilson in North Carolina State and had his little we'll call it a prep year at Wisconsin. Just a prep year at Wisconsin. But I think he's an awesome quarterback. But the fact that you just mentioned him in the same breath as Drew Brees, I just want you to know that the New Orleans
systematic. I was comparing him to the system in which he can possibly play in and be and put a great.
He can't play. I'm sorry. He can't play in that system.
Bro, Russell Wilson can't play in that system. You crazy?
Oh, bro, you about to get killed. I just want you to
throw 40, 50 passes a game.
No, I think he can, man.
Russell could not throw that rock 35 times and put up the same amount of numbers like Drew Brees.
You don't know that.
He gets a lot of help from Marshawn Lynch in that defense.
Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, personally, I think
any of those teams, they all get a lot of help.
Yeah.
It's like having AP. That's like having AP. You're going to give AP at least 25 carries a game, at least.
Yeah, but to go from having an AP and a Marshawn Lynch to having
to carry the team
Sproles
and they don't have Sproles anymore.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Or somebody.
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
I think Russell Wilson could adjust, but to say that he had the same numbers and prosper like Drew Brees, I think that's a bit.
I didn't say that. You put words in my mouth.
Now you said he could play in a system where his skill set could fit nicely in the New Orleans Saints system, right?
And it could.
Okay,
Okay.
that's Corey Harris' opinion. I can't attack that man's opinion. And before we get too far off topic, I got something special for all the Clubhouse Aces listeners out there. My boy John Alexander just popped in on the podcast. He's looking real tired, but the reason why he's tired is because he was out at the Carolina Panthers. That's right, Carolina Panthers training camp today, doing it big. And look at him. He got his collar shirt on. He still looks so professional, but he spent this time out there and he hopped on the podcast as soon as he got home. I'm going to let John take it away and tell y'all what it was like at Carolina Panthers training camp today. For all you Carolina Panthers fans, I am not one, but he is, and he's going to let you guys know about it.
All right, I got some good news for the Panthers fans. Something I was a little worried about. That look, Kelvin Benjamin, the Cam Newton connection, oh, that's going to be right. That's going to be right this year.
It's going to have to be because ain't nothing else good down there.
That's going to be right. Now, of course, Kelvin Benjamin can't make up for Steve Smith's presence in the field and his tenacity, but that connection, that production, Kelvin Benjamin, he was grabbing every ball that Cam threw to him, whether it was in the air, whether it was deep. Kelvin Benjamin had about 2 touchdowns in practice. He burned Colin Jones, made him trip and fall on the ground, and basically mossed Antoine Cason today in practice. That little connection is going to be deadly. He could just get up, and his hands are a lot better than what I thought.
Question: How is Cason turned out? I haven't followed him much since Arizona days. Is he solid? Is he?
He's a solid cornerback, but I give him the nickel, either the 2 or the nickel. I see him playing the 2 for the Panthers because they don't have much options, and they're gonna put Godfrey at the nickel because the Panthers don't have much options, but and they're gonna put Melvin White at the number 1, which I'm a little nervous about. He only in his 2nd year.
Okay. Now, as I just told Corey, look at Trip face, Melvin White. As I just told Corey, I got a lot of Saints fans that watch this podcast. Now, the Saints, the Falcons, the Bucks. My stepfather personally feels like the Bucks are going to be the team to watch out for in the NFC South. But where John do the Panthers stack after what you saw today, and from what they did last year? Where do the Panthers stack up in this tough division?
Well, honestly, only time's going to tell. I think Panthers fans will get a peek. Ron Rivera announced at practice today that Cam Newton, D'Angelo Williams, and Jonathan Stewart are going to play next preseason game. So I think until we see all of them play, we'll find out what's really going to happen. Practice was a little rainy, so it didn't seem like they was giving they all today at practice. But I mean, that Cam and Benjamin connection impressed me out of everything. But we'll see this next preseason game when all the starters play. It's real good to see Jonathan Stewart back out there after so many injuries to his career.
Man, I was about to say y'all backfield is absolutely disgusting. I loathe D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. Like, I always felt like y'all should have got another running back, somebody else. I know y'all tried the Michael Goodson thing, but find somebody. I always wonder why y'all never draft running backs because D'Angelo Hall.
We got Kenyon Barber, and
Kenyon Barner from Oregon.
Yeah, Kenyon Barner. They working him in a little bit.
Okay.
I like Barner.
Trent, what you say?
Just saying, I like Barner.
Yeah.
He got good speed to me, and I think he finds the hole well, but he's kind of small. I wonder how he holds up.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, though. I think the Panthers, so far, it's looking like I think they'll have a good year, but I need to watch this first preseason game to let you know. But nonetheless, I think they're gonna have a win this season.
So no definite projections or predictions for the NFC South.
Somebody else who looked bigger this year. He caught an interception, and it's gonna be scary for the league. He looked better. Luke Kuechly.
I mean, well, that's no shock. Luke Kuechly is like the man at linebacker. I mean, he's the guy.
He's bigger this year. That's crazy.
Is he faster though? Is he gonna be able to?
Yeah, can he cover it?
Yeah,
he's better. He intercepted Cam today. He got good hands now.
That's not hard to do. That's not hard to do.
Hey, Cam ain't throw an interception the rest of the practice.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not hard to intercept Cam Newton. He stares down his targets. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be a good season for the Panthers. The Panthers fans, I think y'all can breathe.
Okay.
So after seeing practice, you can breathe. I mean, every Panthers fan I run into, the first thing they say is, "Oh my gosh, we lost Steve Smith. We're gonna be terrible this year." And I'm like, one wide receiver means that much to a team. One wide receiver, and all Carolina Panthers fans are just like, "Oh my god."
You gotta realize Steve Smith meant so much to the franchise.
He was the face of the franchise for since the 21st century.
People stuck with Steve Smith for years, through thick and thin, through all the problems he had, and he gave Carolina his all. He was the most tenacious player, in their history. I mean, he got every game started. They throw him the first pass, and he catch the ball, and he break a tackle, and just set it off. And Panthers fans love him, and they just weren't. David Gettleman never gave a good reason on why he cut Steve Smith. He never gave a settled reason, and that just tipped Panthers fans off. And it was so sudden. People didn't expect it to happen. And Steve didn't even expect it to happen, and that's why Panthers fans felt that it's the world. But I think they're gonna miss that tenacity, but the production is gonna be there.
All right. Well, I let you Panthers fans live a little bit too long on the show. They've had too much Panthers talk. We boring everybody. Look at my Redskin contingent. Fox and Corey, like, man, we don't care about the Panthers.
I ain't made it else.
Whoa, John, don't get shot. Don't.
I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't gonna get into no trash talk on it.
First of all,
hey, John, what other weapons though, other than Benjamin, do y'all got on the outside though? That's what I'm curious about.
Okay.
We got what's my man's name? Slipping my mind. Number 82.
You must not be that real. Okay, next.
What's his name?
I thought you wasn't gonna talk trash, bro.
I'm just saying.
Hey, what's the man from?
82's his name.
Time out. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
No, I will tell you, Tavares King looked good today. He caught everything that
From
went.
Georgia? Tavares King from Georgia?
Yeah, he used to play for the Broncos too.
Hey, I was like, he's still in the league. Oh my gosh.
Hey, he's gonna be a little sneak. He was snagging everything. Of course, you're gonna have Greg Olsen. He's gonna have a big time year. He had a nice one-handed catch grab. Brandon Williams, he had a tough practice today, but his last game was really good.
Y'all should have kept Brandon.
My fault. Jericho Crotchy. His name slipped my mind.
Jericho Crotchy. Y'all are relying on a lifetime number 3 wide receiver to be our number 1?
No, not our number 1. No. Benjamin gonna be our number 1.
A rookie?
A rookie?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, Panther fan.
He's gonna be our number 1 wide receiver, but he's not gonna be our number 1 option. Olsen is gonna be that go-to guy in third down situations that you're gonna look to. But if you need a touchdown at that goal line, Benjamin's gonna be there all day. Y'all not believing me, Benjamin.
He's gonna have a good year. I think he's gonna have a solid.
I think he's gonna have a solid rookie season. But when you talk about being the number 1 wide receiver, boy, there's a lot of connotations that come with that.
The kid Benjamin has a lot of intangibles. That's hard. That's just hard. It's natural. He's natural.
He got size and great hands.
He can jump and he can't catch. Just like John said, that boy, he got good hands, man.
He got great hands.
A lot of Florida State that I'm like, damn, like I didn't expect him to make those plays, but the fact that he has very, 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 very much big play capability is going to be, Cam Newton's outlet.
Well, John, question. Because Corey, I agree with Corey. He has great hands and great intangibles that you can't teach. But the one thing that I do want to know about Calvin Benjamin, and you was there, is route running and separation, which go hand in hand. Route running and separation. Can he create separation outside of his body size and posting guys up? Can he create separation?
He's not the best at creating separation, but you couldn't even tell though, because every time a ball got thrown up, he would jump over the defender or would snag it away. So I think he's been able to get away with that.
Okay.
And
that's not good. Not good.
But I mean, every time a ball was thrown to him, it was thrown a little high. He caught it, and the defender couldn't do nothing about it. He's just one of those players.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to let you burn it up too much on Panthers practice because, once again, I got some Saints people in here. I got Redskin people. They don't want to hear about the Carolina Panthers. But to all the North Carolina contingent that watch the show, what's up? Big shout-out, especially all those North Carolina Central Eagles, my home, my alma mater. Speaking of which, let's get into the discussion about the NCAA marquee case, NCAA versus O'Bannon case, which was had a final verdict and ruling this Friday, where the judge or district judge, I have her name, Claudia Wilkin, found for O'Bannon and NCAA athletes, Division I football players and men's basketball players, to basically be paid once they finish school or are no longer athletes, be paid for the NCAA using their likeness, whether it's images, whether it's games. I mean, this is done all the time. Perfect case in point, NCAA football 13. They got the Heisman, past Heisman winners, and you could play as the Heisman's candidates on there. Some of those guys didn't even make it to the NFL, and they don't get any money off of that, and they're not college athletes anymore, which I guess is why you saw NCAA football is no longer being sold or done. I think the NCAA was jumped on that real fast to say, hey, we're not going to ever use people's likeness, because really and truthfully, who's going to deny that number 15 for Florida in NCAA 2009 was Tim Tebow? I mean, we all know that. So I guess I want to get you guys' thoughts on the case and where this leads us down the road of paying NCAA athletes. Fox, I'll start with you.
I think it's a nice step. I mean, as things get older, and you have to adjust to the day and age. I mean, these people who put this out there that, hey, we should be getting money for this. I mean, we are making you money. Why can't we reap the benefits of that? Hey, I think it was a great first step, and I think it will hold strong. I mean, it only makes sense. If you are making the NCAA makes millions and millions of dollars a year. The athletes are the reason why this thing is up and running. So I mean, it's going to be a lot of changes. I say the next few years regarding athletes getting paid while in school and once they leave school, and I think it's only right, and I think it will hold strong, and it's a good move. It's a good move. I mean, these people are selling jerseys. You can't, like you said about Tim Tebow, 15, Johnny Manziel, the number 2 for Texas A&M. I mean, I would love to know how much money that jersey sold for, and I mean, you know, it's only right. It's only right, and NCAA is on it because, you know, when this was brought to the public's attention that you can type in Johnny Manziel and then the number 2 jersey is popping up on Google, you know, that name is automatically with that jersey, and with other things that are generating money for other people other than that person. So it's only right that the people who are generating the money reap some of the benefits. So I think it's going to hold strong, and I think it's the right direction. There are other things that are to come from this, I believe.
I mean, one interesting thing that's kind of really, really interesting about that is, like Fox said, when you talk about these jerseys, I mean, everybody knows who the number 5 for USC is. You put number 5 in USC, Reggie Bush is synonymous with number 5 in USC. The other thing that's weird about this is, what about these guys who have their number retired? I mean, that's their number. It goes hand in hand. Texas A&M, number 2, that's going to forever be known as Johnny Manziel. 15, Florida is going to be forever known as Tim Tebow. There are just certain once-in-a-lifetime guys in college that those numbers are synonymous with. I mean, we all know, we all know who the 2-3 is, baby. In basketball, you all know who the 2-3. When you see that Carolina blue, you think about the 2-3, and it's not another name that come into your head but Jordan. Not saying he needs the money, but it is the likeness. It really is. And like Fox said, how much money are these institutions and schools getting paid for those jersey sales where the names strategically aren't on the back of the jersey? Because of that. Just another note, NCAA President Mark Emmert did say that they are going to appeal. And Corey, you take it away.
I pretty much feel like I'm on board with Fox, and when he said this was a small step, you know, towards, you know, NCAA players, student athletes actually getting paid. You know, because I go back and I think like that'd be nice. That'd definitely be nice especially for the big schools that were on those video games. And that was, you know, the March Madness. You know, I remember, I can take it back when I was playing March Madness, and I played with Duke, and the Shane Battier from Duke looked just like Shane Battier. Had a wrinkled head and everything. And, you know, so you look at it, and you can see how much, you know, NCAA, EA Sports, you know, NCAA not the only person benefiting, you know, from you know, collegiate athletes. It's other people with their hands in that pot. You know, and for at least if the student athlete's not getting the money, it should be going somewhere towards the athletic wise or the program, you know, doing something more positive for the student athletes instead of just NCAA taking all the money and they paying themselves. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I think it's going to be a long drawn out case, and, you know, it can be years and years to come before they even come to a verdict, you know, about athletes getting paid. At the end of the day, I don't think athletes going to end up getting paid, you know, because you're no longer, you know, amateur athlete. You end up, when you start getting paid, that makes you professional. You know, for you to be paid, you know, I know a lot of folks said for you to go to school for free and you to get the education is, you know, that's your payment. That's your payment.
Time out. I got not only you two guys who were scholarship athletes. I was a scholarship athlete. 2 things I want to clear up for everybody out there in viewership land. You 2 guys are football guys. You're very different from me. How many full scholarships were actually given out to guys in college?
And I can understand that. And
now, I want you to answer that question. Honestly.
Well, I think Division I, AA, I think we had 60 scholarships for football. I want to say 60 scholarships for football. I know baseball is a lot less scholarships, and track is very small. You know, the smaller the sport, the least amount of scholarships you get.
So at Division I AA, how was everybody on full scholarship? There weren't walk-ons.
There was definitely walk-ons, and there was people there on partial scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah, and the people that's on scholarship, you know, I can only speak for the folks that was getting paid for. You know, so what about the other people that wasn't on scholarship? That's still on the video game. You know, that's still them. That's still who they are portrayed as. You know, when you're looking at that, that's a long, drawn-out process. That's a lot of checks that they're going to have to cut. And I just don't see it happen. I just don't see that part happening. You know, in the future, if student athletes getting paid, no, I don't see it. Do I wish it would happen? Yeah, but I just don't see it happening in the near future at all.
D, hop in there.
I don't know. How do you regulate it? Like, I can't see how with any situation, any scenario, and it's not just a slippery slope, and it's just like, how do you control all this money that's going around? Billions of dollars, billions of dollars. And Corey said pretty much the biggest thing is the amateur versus the professional. Like, how much you paying these athletes? My biggest thing, like, okay, you're giving athletes money, so our top tier athletes getting paid more, amateur athletes getting paid more than, say, the walk-ons, and like so.
It has to be. I mean, the bigger the name, the more the money. Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
Like, that's all I'm saying. So, and it's just, I don't see where like there can be a situation where that works out for everybody. Now, I can see also like a fund may be set up for after school. I mean, or just like something, but they have stipends. I mean, I don't know exactly how much is paid out at big schools, but there's stuff set up, and the money generated to the athletic department goes back into the athletic department as well. It's not like, oh, they take all this money and nothing's happening. Like, they reap the benefits of that money, the revenue that the school is making, and all the students reap the benefits. That's the other thing. So, I think it's the way it is. Like, you come to this program, you know what it is. You're playing for amateur. You get to the other level, and it feels like a lot of people that are on this suit are athletes that like don't have much. You don't hear much about athletes that are playing now or wealthy complaining about their likeness on NCAA or their jerseyman. So,
well, just to interrupt, one of the leading guys who beats the drum the loudest is Jay Billis, an attorney and an ESPN.
Yeah, I've heard Jay Billis talk about that, but Jay Billis is not a wealthy. You don't hear, and he's beating the drum, but it's a lot of guys. O'Bannon. Who even knows who he is? Like, not just saying, but it's just like it sounds kind of. I mean, I don't want to say bitter, but it's just like, all right, you trying to do this for you? You trying to do this for athletes? Like, now? So I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's not going to affect him though, right?
No, probably not.
Yeah, it's going to affect.
It's just a name. It's just a name. Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of names get slapped on, and then there are a lot of cases that get umbrellaed or thrown in with it. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I just don't see how it can happen. Go ahead, John.
Oh, my fault. But I mean, y'all know my take on it. I think college athletes should be paid. I do hope this is the right step. I mean, this is the first step into it. I mean, this is long overdue. You can't make money off somebody and not give them a cut. NCAA's whole argument that they don't want student athletes to make a certain amount of money, but look at it now. It's a disaster. The way the NCAA is now, it's a disaster. You got people getting in trouble because they getting impermissible benefits. You got people leaving school early when they want them to stay. They're trying to force people to stay more years. But these people have to leave because they got to make money for their families. They got to give money to their mom. So I think this is long overdue. These athletes deserved it. They basically, stealing money from these athletes. So I hope this is the right step into paying these athletes soon, someday.
Go ahead, Aaron.
One thing I think is interesting in terms of the NCAA is with the amount of money that is being made, I don't see why, at the very least, every student athlete isn't given a full scholarship. At the very least, if we're gonna talk about true amateurism or money wise, with the amount of money that's being made, I don't see why every student athlete, NCAA student athlete that can be Division I, Division II, Division III, isn't given at least a full scholarship. And one thing I want people to know all those people out there about scholarships. They are a year-to-year contract. They are not. All you, please listen to me. All of you high school juniors and seniors that are thinking you're going to college and you're getting a 4-year contract of definite money. It is a year-to-year thing, and the money can go up and down each year. It is not a 4-year binding contract. It is a year-to-year contract. But I would definitely like to see the NCAA at least give all NCAA athletes scholarships. And it's possible with the amount of money that's being made. We're not talking about millions of dollars here. We're talking about multi-billion.
If I could interject, the what you said with a scholarship is year to year. So they treat the student athletes like they're employees, basically.
Yeah, yes, it is. That is my thing. You are evaluated. We all know it. See, some people on the chat might not tell it, but I'm gonna tell it because it's real. You're evaluated. It's performance based. It is your scholarship.
Everything in life is performance.
Yes, everything in life is performance based. But when you try to spew out amateurism, you can't talk about performance based from the standpoint of athletics. You can't. Athletics being performance based means you're under contract. Your scholarship is a contract, is it not?
It is. It is. It's a contract, but it's just not for football though. That contract is for school.
It's both. It's both. No, it's both. It's both.
But they're paying for the school. You know, this is my whole thing. And I mean, if college athletes do get paid, that's great. But you know, it makes you lose sight of the reason of being a college athlete or the reason in being, going to the NFL or NBA. When you're in high school, your whole thoughts are, man, I want to go to school. I want to play Division I. I want to play Division I ball, and I want to go to school for free. You ain't thinking, I want to go to college. I want to play Division I ball, and I want to get that $500 check. You ain't thinking that.
You go to college to make it to the pros.
Exactly.
That's why you play Division I sports. Let's not get it twisted. That's why you play Division I sports.
But that's the step, though. That's the step. I'm saying, when you go to college, you talking about paying student athletes in college. They losing sight of the NFL dream.
Student athletes are already getting paid, though, Corey. Don't even lie to me and act like UNC students wasn't getting some money.
But that's all over the country, man. We can't. That's debatable, but at the same time, we talking about legitimate checks coming from NCAA to the athletes, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I honestly don't think it's ever going to happen because I think once it gets to the Supreme Court or whoever overturns it multiple times, I still think that once you get to the Supreme Court are going to say, since when is education not enough? We're talking about the most highly academic individuals. You think they're not going to vote in favor of academia?
Yeah. I mean, as far as like the scholarship goes and like actual players while in college being paid, I think that's a bit tough. I mean, there's definitely more things that can be provided to some of these players that are pulling in a lot of money. But as far as the players that are actually out of school and jerseys still being sold and a lot of people making money off of these players that are no longer in school, I think you can definitely do something for these people. If not them getting the money, like receiving money, why not set aside the money that they generate? Why not let them be able to let's say send that to a charity or send that back into the school and have them have hands-on, have them have actual guidance of what the money is funded to that school and have it be a tax write-off or something. They need to reap a little bit of benefit for that. I mean, being out of school.
Hey, just the solution here. What if every Division I athlete, not athlete, but let's say for revenue sports, the men's basketball and men's Division I FBS football, just to start, and I know that Title IX has to come in at some point, but let's say every Division I football player and every Division I basketball player, FBS football and Division I basketball player, let's say that upon the finish of school for them, or that there's a $5,000 stipend upon finishing school for them. They get $5,000 once they finish, or once they leave school, because there are a whole bunch of other issues that happen in life. Let's say once they finish or they're done with school, out of school, they get a $5,000 stipend for playing college athletics, and that's once they're done. Is that okay? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, for each year, that's not a lot of money that the NCAA has to take on in terms of the cost that they make. Is that okay?
For every student athlete, $5,000.
For every men's FBS football or FBS football, Division I FBS, and every men's basketball player. Once again, remember, we're talking billions of dollars that the NCAA makes.
At
Not
the end of the day, $5,000, yeah, to an athlete that's graduating from college, $5,000, yeah, that's a lot of money to them. But that's chump change compared to what they're actually making.
now, it is. I'm just throwing out it.
Man, I made $9,280 working part-time at Five Guys one year. $5,000 is nothing.
Yeah, that's well. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just throwing out a number out there because, which is another issue that you can't really work during the season that you're playing. I mean,
and they put a cap on how much you can make.
Yeah, and they do put a cap on how much you can make. I do know some football players who were bouncers while we were in college, though.
I mean, I think that's a good idea. Something that should possibly be looked into. I mean, at the end of the day, when you talk about these schools, the people that need that money are the people that actually graduate and don't go off to professional athletics. So, I mean, one that can motivate people to finish school and actually get their degree with what they actually came to school to do. I mean, when you do have students that do count on going straight to the league or whatever, and then when their eligibility is up in that athletics and they don't go to the league, some people are not even motivated to come back to school. I think that stipend could motivate people to actually finish and give them a head start in life. I mean, and what we're looking at are those people that aren't going to professional athletics. I mean, the Johnny Manziels, those people that leave school early that won't receive the stipend are the people that don't even need the stipend. So I mean, I think that's something that should.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that because I think the people that leave school need the money right now. And if you had to wait for 4 years when these kids don't even want to go to school half the time, I mean, I still don't think they would. I don't think they would stay because they need the money at this point. I think that they should. If you want to give them $5,000, then give them $1,500 after each year. Because these kids, it's still nothing. These kids need the money right now, or they're going to leave. I mean, they're poor at home. Their mother is suffering.
Not everybody is poor.
But I'm saying,
not everybody mother is suffering.
That's almost everybody's story who goes to the NBA early or skips college.
Well, let's define suffering. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody talk about their mother and
that's the common excuse. That's the first thing you think of when somebody leaves.
Well, they're not necessarily poor. They may be struggling, but they're doing fine.
Some people just don't like school.
Yeah, some people don't like school, and some people are not off.
Some people not even going to school for school.
Well, we know that. I mean, a lot of Division I athletes aren't going to school for school. They're going to school because they're thinking they got a chance to play or get to the next level. I mean, that is why you play Division I sports if you're a scholarship athlete. I mean, if you don't even sign up because you might get hurt. This ain't a game.
But then again, y'all saying a lot of people not suffering. It's like 85% of student athletes are below the poverty line.
Well, so, I mean, shit, I'm below the poverty line. That's not hard to say. As an everyday journalist, I made $25,000 a year. What are you saying?
I mean, I'm just saying you can't say that.
And for all of you who don't know, that's $12.02 an hour for somebody who had a college degree and was very successful in college.
So, I got two questions then. You talked about the FBS and D1 basketball. What does that say for the kids that in D2 and D3? It's still
you don't matter. You don't matter.
And see, that's the entire issue.
Why?
Everybody,
you don't have
selling nobody in Division III jersey.
Yeah,
they do sell those jerseys.
No, at the schools they might sell them, but
I can give you that money in your hand right now.
That's what I'm saying. And then what are you saying to other amateur sports? What are you saying to Little League Baseball? What are you saying? Like, when you're on TV, money is being generated, but the money is going back into the system. That's what the NCAA, you don't see where the money goes, but it all goes back.
What the hell do you mean we'll see? Ask yourself how much money these NCAA presidents making. Ask yourself that.
They're running $1 million business, $1 billion business. They're going to make some money. Every season you run $1 billion company, you're going to make $1 million.
That's right. You run $1 billion, but this is the issue. No, you just said it. You just said it. A company. And what does a company do? Pay its employees, right?
Your college is a company.
The company pays its employees.
They offer a service. You sign up for a service when you go to school. Like, people who make money, you go to school, you sign up for school, you go to a top school, a med program. They make money off you. You're an alumni, you're a head neurologist. You get money's been generated off of what you do. You use this school. Like, it's a service. Both can use both. The alumni can use the school can use the alumni. Money being generated, I just don't see where that ends for anybody, for amateur sports across the board. Like Little League World Series is on ESPN. ESPN is generating money off the Little League World Series. None of these kids are seeing this money. None of these coaches are seeing this money. So where does it stop? Are we just gonna say the NCAA because they make so much more, so we got to give it back to them? I don't know if that's right necessarily.
Well,
to leave out two divisions.
I mean, sort of like you said, the teams might not necessarily get the individual money, but I mean, it's just like contracts. I'm sure ESPN bought the Little League World Series TV rights, or it's ABC Disney company, so they're paying Disney company that amount of money. I don't know what gets paid for Little League wise. How do we know they don't pay for their jerseys? The whole Little League where they're at doesn't pay for their jerseys. I don't know. I won't pretend to know, but to me it just seems a little something has to be done. Now, and I won't say that I'm naive enough to believe that guys aren't getting paid and that there aren't stipends given out across the United States at colleges, Division I colleges, some Division II colleges. In reference to the Division II and Division III comment, they're not bringing in any real revenue. You don't get paid. I mean, we may as well call them like Division I baseball players at LSU or something. They're non-revenue, and those, like you said, those other amateur athletes. If you're not really bringing in revenue, you can't really ask for that money, even though everybody's gonna feel entitled to it. It's a value-based thing. Is somebody gonna tell me? I know it sucks to say this, but there's no way that you're gonna tell me that Brittany Griner is more valuable than Doug McDermott when at the same time, school-wise.
I get your point, but my point is it's not the lawsuit is not against NCAA Division I. It's against NCAA. So how do you leave out D2, D3?
But because they don't matter in the grand.
NCAA runs all of it, so everybody should be getting paid. If one person getting paid, I don't see how it's going to work. Just trying to pay two high-level sports, and it's like.
I just think they should let athletes have a job where they can make as much money as they can.
Well, the difficult thing about that though, John, is let's break down. You know what, Corey or Fox?
So how can you
time out? Let's do it like this.
You don't have time to work.
Thank you. Let's break it down. I'm gonna let y'all break down a typical day. No, time out, John. Fox. Break down the typical day. Now, mind you, this is North Carolina Central football. Break down a typical day for you, football-wise, at North Carolina Central, and then we'll break down how much time there is to work.
First of all, there's an end season and it's an off season. So you think you want to get the job in the off season? Your off season is just as hectic as the end season, because you might could get a job when you're 2 weeks when you got 2 weeks of free time, which is right directly after the season. But you got your final exams during that time. You want to study for your final exams. Once you get back from maybe you can get a job during Christmas vacation. That's like your only break, like right before Christmas vacation and then during Christmas vacation. Because once you get back, you have winter workouts, which you wake up in the morning at 6:30 for your workouts, and then in the afternoon you lift weights. So I mean, if you can find a job that is very flexible with their schedule, allowing you to change your schedule on sporadically, then maybe that will work. But you really don't have free time unless it's right before Christmas break, which is like maybe 2 weeks. But you got final exams, so you want to study, and then Christmas break. So I mean, it's really a year round. I mean, during the summer you can work, and coaches do provide the opportunity to help you with employment during the summer. And I think that does work out. Well, that just the summertime though, if you stay and work out with your team.
All right, I'm gonna give you the life of an NCAA baseball player. This is North Carolina Central based. First, we'll give you out of season first. Off season during fall ball, you waking up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock workouts. Corey and Fox know we was in there just like they were. Maybe not getting the type of good work that they was getting in, but we was in there. From 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock or 7:30. You lifting. From 7:30 to 8:30, you go into the caf to eat your breakfast. 9 to 12 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you are taking class. 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 between 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 1 to 3, you are studying and or doing college stuff, which maybe you have time for a job. 3 to 6 is practice. 6 o'clock when you come in, or you get come from practice, you're going straight to the caf, because as we all knew, the caf closed at 7 or 8 at that time. It fluctuated. You come to the caf, you sit with your team, you eat. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you getting up, you leaving the caf, you going either to chill at your room and get ready for the next day, where you might have to do the same thing, or you going to do studying, you going to do work, or maybe you enjoying your time around campus bullshitting. But the only time I can see you actually having time to do something would be between that 8 to 1 block, 8 to 12 block, at night, or between 1 and 3 having a job. And in season, there's no way in hell. And summer ball is what you. If you're a Division I athlete, as Fox said, all season, you need to be working on your game. I worked an internship during my first summer home, and I didn't play as much ball, and it hurt me. If you really are trying to be a legitimate prospect, you need to be playing the summer league. You need to be playing somewhere, Cape Cod, Cal Ripken League, Texas Collegiate League. I don't care where it is, but you need to be playing. So there's really not a whole bunch of time for a serious college Division I athlete to be working a part-time job, a full-time job. Not at all. You can barely compete when you're working hard. Now you want them to divert attention to.
Yeah, it's not enough to be a regular student and have a job. So it's virtually impossible. My last point on the topic is, like, I'm not opposed to students getting some type of funding because the NCAA is a business. They are a part of that business. And college education, a free college education for most of the students is a huge.
But everybody not getting free education.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying for a lot, it is a huge opportunity. But I'm saying, no, I'm not opposed to it, but how is it possible? And how are they going to be able to do it? If they figure out a way to do it that makes sense for everybody, and safety is involved in that, and like financial stability is involved, and then that's fine. But I just don't see, there's no plan hashed out to where this is going to happen and it makes sense. When they get that, I'll probably be on board.
I ain't gonna let us get too deep in it. We running out of time here. Before we go, I have a new segment I want to bring in, and it's called the Dunce Cap. The Dunce Cap is just basically for any person in the sports world that I feel like has been an idiot. It's just an idiot. Just dumb. So they get to wear the dunce cap for a week or so until next Sunday. And my dunce cap, to start off with, it hurts me to say this, is a Baltimore Oriole. His name is Chris Davis, first baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. He gets the dunce cap because it's August, which means we're 3/4 of the way through the season, MLB, and he's hitting 195 with 20 home runs, 55
steroids.
195 with 20 home runs, 55 RBIs, and 136 strikeouts. Now I don't think he took steroids, but he gets the dunce cap because the Orioles offered him a long-term deal, which I think was worth $90 million at the beginning of the season, and he turned it down, and hoping to make more money. And if I was the Orioles, I would pay him. I would offer him a $60 million deal and laugh at him. But to be honorable, I'd offer him the same deal. But Chris Davis should get the dunce cap of the week this week, just because you blew it. You blew it. You thought that you were gonna cash in on a $150 million deal like Sin Shu Chu. You thought you were worth that because you hit 53 home runs last year, and you come back and you laid a big fat goose egg. And
people always usually do their best on their contract year.
Yeah, and people, take for instance Adrian Beltre back in the day. I mean, he always does his best on a contract year. Still a great third baseman, but Chris Davis has to get the dunce cap of the week, and we will continue to do the dunce cap. You guys can send me who you think should get the dunce cap of the week every week. Send me an email at clubhousetalk@gmail.com. You can also send topics that you want us to discuss. Or if you have something to say to the panel, you can email us at Clubhouse Talk. I will let the fellas say who they are before we get out of here and give out.
I thought Danny Garcia should get the dunce cap of the week for begging and then getting knocked down the next punch.
Yeah, that's another story. We're not going to talk about fights that don't deserve to be talked about. Danny Garcia and Rod Stalker will not be talked about on this podcast. Fox, go ahead and I guess give out your social media.
Hey. Y'all know what it is, baby. Y'all know what it is. Fox Trillions every day, every Sunday. Catch me at Fox Trillions, FoxTrillions. That's on Instagram, baby. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. It's been great like it always is. Hey, we need to go ahead and get the Clubhouse Aces fantasy football popping because I will win that shit because I know more than everybody on here. But that's just yeah.
You don't know shit.
Hey, shout out to my man Stephen A. Smith. He is back. Hey, shout out to Chicago, Illinois Little League too. They doing that thing, man. Hey, hold it down. I'm out.
Hey, you already know who it is, man. It's your boy Corey Cole. You can follow me on Twitter at Corey Cole. Follow me on Instagram at Tell 'em Clyde. Follow me on Snapchat at Tell 'em Clyde. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure, man. I love doing this with y'all boys, man. Every Sunday, 7 o'clock, we here. We here, Clubhouse Aces, baby.
Nah, you more like 7:30, boy.
D, man, tell them who you are. Don't listen to these.
Hey, man, Denzel, man. California.
Lord,
Whose dog is that?
somebody
That's
hold
my
it down.
Hey, mute me. Go ahead and mute me, man.
Foxy,
Mute
man.
yourself, man.
Yeah, man, you can follow me on Twitter. Like what Shaw said, shout out to Jackie Robinson, West Little League from Southside Chicago, man. Making their first trip to the League World Series since 1983. Yeah, something like that. But it's something crazy, man. But all black team, they're doing their thing, man. So hopefully they take it off.
Young John Alexander, let him know.
Yeah, Jonathan Alexander here. I've been noticing that I tell y'all my Twitter handle every Sunday, but y'all don't follow me. So maybe I didn't spell it correctly. Let me spell it correctly for you. Let me say it slowly. JONNMALEXANDER 1. That's John M. Alexander 1. Twitter, follow me. All right, appreciate it. I'm out.
All right, I'm one of your co-hosts, Aaron Saunders. You can follow me on Instagram at Chris Miracle. That's Miracle with the 3 at the end, Chris Miracle. You can follow me on Twitter at Ace_Saunders12. Officially your editor of ClubHouseAceS.com. Thank you, everybody, for the support that you've been giving out to us. We really appreciate it. Make sure you check out my boy Jerome Brown's blog, RomeBrown.com. John also has a blog. He's doing wonderful things. Love everybody out there. Thank you very much for following us, and we are out.